way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't well, I see trees of green and red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds.
Thanks. And we're here to ask him some questions about dying with dignity. First of all, I'd like for you to tell us, how would you define dying with dignity?
I think dying with dignity is allowing a person to die in a way that honors them, honors their requests, gives them the least pain, and brings the most comfort and to that person as they walk through the dying process.
Okay. All right. What are some of the most common requests of a person who is about to pass?
I found that people like to be able to plan their memorial service, their funeral. They want to have a say in the songs that are sung, the scriptures that are read, and each of the elements. I put together a form that we use that allows the person before they die to kind of give their pre-wishes and plan their whole memorial service.
Okay. All right. Besides emotional support, what can the family do to make the last moments easier for their loved one?
I think honoring their requests, if they have, like for example, special music that they like, have a radio or tape to have peaceful time, have the person as comfortable as can be, maybe making a choice on where they're going to die, whether it's at home or palliative care or the setting.
Okay. And how do you usually deal with, sometimes this would happen with family members who don't agree with the loved one's request even after they've passed. How do you suggest they handle that?
Well, I'll sometimes come back to the person's wishes and share that with the family as we're planning the funeral. But at that point, I have to honor the living person and the family members who are putting the service together.
Your father has passed, and it'll be just a year in December?
Yes, that is correct.
Question is was your father prepared for his passing?
Had a will, but all the copies of the will that we could find were not signed. So we've literally spent the last year in court certifying his last will and testament.
So did he have a DNR? A do not resuscitate?
He had a living will.
So did your siblings did you all agree? Were you all on the same page? Did you come together as a collective and have the same ideas about what you had to do?
Yes, we did. It is very amazing because we rarely agree on, all three of us, the same thing, but this is the one thing that we agreed on, thankfully.
During this time, do you think that there's anything that could have been done differently to make it more dignified?
Well, Well, certainly I would have liked to have received a copy of his will prior to his passing, and that would have made things a bit more tidy. My father had discussed with me and with everybody what the terms of his will were. We knew who the executor was, and he was pretty open to that, was sharing that information. So, his last will is really a 3-page document.
A year's gone by now. Is it all taken care of
No,
now?
it is not.
Are you prepared?
Oh my gosh, no, I am not prepared. I have a life insurance policy that if I pass away, the house will be paid for, but that's pretty much as far as I've gone. We just keep putting it off. Because it's not going to happen tomorrow, right?
Talking to you tonight because you've recently lost your father.
A little over a year ago.
Do you believe he was prepared?
No, absolutely not. He was not prepared.
Did he have a will?
He did not have a will. He had been in and out of the hospital with different illnesses, so we did have things like a DNR, and
So he
You know, he
had
expressed his
he had a
wishes.
living will.
he had a living will, and I was, his power of attorney, medical power of attorney, and durable power of attorney. So that was something that we put into place when he had been ill previously, but a will and kind of a knowing that this was going to be it for him did not exist. It was very challenging. You just, you do your best and you get it done, and you're very busy.
Are you prepared?
No, I'm not prepared in the sense that I don't have a will. I don't have a living will. I know my house would go to my husband. My wish is to be cremated. But beyond that, no, I don't have a preparation. We were just talking about how it is important to specify what exactly would you want, if that's important to you. Like maybe some people don't feel that it's as important that they have every little detail worked out. What's going to be read at their funeral and what's going to happen to their ashes and all these kind of things. It's really helpful when there's a plan, because then it's easier for the family to go through that process. And they know what to do, and there's not this sort of argument or question or stress between siblings or family members that are left behind that have to decide what to do.
I'm talking to you today because you've recently lost your dad.
Mm-hmm.
When did your dad pass?
October 26th.
This year. Do you believe your father was prepared?
Yes. I mean, as prepared as one can be, I think.
Did he have a will?
He did.
And did he have a living will or a DNR, that they call them?
Yes. Mostly his wishes were pretty clearly laid out. There were a lot of details of the funeral that, after the fact, my sister thought she should have been more prepared and should have taken care of some of those details ahead of time. Like, for example, she had not gone to the funeral home and set things up ahead of time. And she had not gone to the cemetery and purchased the plot. Things like that had not been done. And so that was sort of interesting in retrospect. There was a lot of preparation, but some obvious things didn't happen.
Do you feel as if you're prepared?
In the sense that, yes, I do have a will. I'm prepared in that sense. I've not really thought about, preparation in the sense of going out and buying the cemetery plot. In that sense, I'm not prepared, but I do have a will.
You have 2 sons, so they would be the responsible parties. Do you think that there are things that you could do to make it easier for them?
There certainly are things that